Time that Roger attempts to travel through the stones, they not only reject him, but they burn him. Unlike the show, being rejected and even killed by the stones is not uncommon in the books. Time travel is extremely dangerous, and it is not like hopping on an elevator as it would seem in the show. In the books, when Roger finds out that Brianna has traveled back, he gets with Fiona to discuss with her the possibility of him traveling. Fiona has taken the place of her grandmother, Mrs. Graham, as the caller for the stones. As they are discussing the possibility of using the stones, Fiona mentions Galus Duncan. She explains that for a time, Galus had come to work with the callers to learn the traditions and the songs for opening the portals. Fiona then mentions that Galus has left behind some kind of grimoire before she disappeared through the stones, and she shares the notebook with Roger. The book is filled with all sorts of hypothetical thoughts, the importance of traveling on certain days, and also an entire section of what she referred to as case studies. These case studies were records of all the time travelers before her. She recorded in detail 22 people who had possibly died attempting to travel through the stones. And that doesn't even include the ones that we also learn about with regards to the Montauk Five. Interestingly, she also notes what she refers to as the people who disappear, one of which is Claire. Obviously, these notes concern Roger, and him and Fiona are debating if it is safe for him to even attempt to travel, especially because it seems that most of the successful travelers are female. However, come Midsummer Night Eve, they travel to the stones. Reach the stones and start hearing the humming. Roger is not having a pleasant experience. While he says that he can hear the stones, he more discusses feeling them. He describes the feeling of being eaten alive by ants, and the humming making his body ache deep in his bones. Seeking a distraction from this pain and the anxiety that he is feeling, he reaches for the locket that he is wearing, which was his mother's. The locket had tiny gemstones that he planned to use for traveling. In that moment, he starts thinking about how Brianna has traveled back in time to save her father, and that maybe when he travels, he will encounter his own father. At the very moment, Fiona stops the caller song and directs him towards the stones. He walks forward to the stones and hears unbelievably terrifying screaming, and then feels as if his body is on fire. Then flashes to him waking up and Fiona asking him, is he okay? She explains to Roger that in one moment he had disappeared through the stones, and in the very next he was laying in a heap of fire in the stone circle. He had to use coffee to put out the fire that was ignited on his clothes. Now they start trying to figure out why the stones rejected Roger. Realize that it was because he was thinking of his father in a time that he himself already existed. If he had attempted to travel to the time that he was thinking of his father when he was a pilot, Roger realized that he was already born. And that is a big no-no with regards to time travel. Two versions of yourself cannot exist in the same time period. That is why the stones rejected him. As the series goes on, we see more examples of this happening. Fiona comes to the conclusion that Roger has to focus on Brianna, that she will be his anchor and he will be taken to the correct time to find her. She gives him his engagement ring, pushes him towards the stone, and then Roger disappears. This example and other examples throughout the book open up the questions of if time travel is actually predestined. If you attempt to redirect the timeline of the stones, will they reject you or even kill you? Or are all the examples of people being rejected that they were trying to travel to timelines where they already existed? You could argue that if Fiona was not there, Roger would have burned to death. I did hear that the show planned to incorporate this and in fact even filmed the scene, but due to time constraints had to remove it. Personally, would have loved if they included it because the lore around time travel is so intriguing.